Welcome to the web client. What you're looking at here is a web client that anybody can access. Remember I said from any browser, including that car in the driveway. Over here is the inbox where documents sit. You probably had a document tray or something on your desk where the paperwork dropped when they had things for you to do. That's exactly what this is here. And you'll notice that on the right-hand side is a viewer showing the document. Now, you might be thinking, how do I get things into this basket or this document tray? I'm going to go up here and hit the import button on the top left that you see there. Oh, let's grab this certificate of conformity. Let's just bring this in. I could choose all of them and bring them in that way. So they all come in at the same time. I have any number of ways that I can bring documents into this document tray if I'm importing them. I could drag and drop them in actually along the way. So you have a lot of flexibility, and the beauty is it stays in this document tray until you do something with it. It's never going to go away. Now we talked about importing. I could hit the scan button here and use a document scanner and send it in. I can even create some templates. So if I'm scanning invoices or anything like that, maybe I want to use certain settings on the scanner each time, and it has the ability to do that as well. Does anybody have somebody in your office that you can think of that ever printed something out to scan it back in again? I can almost see your faces out there. Oh, so I want to show you something kind of fun here. I'm going to hit I've opened up a PDF document. I'm going to hit the printer that you see here, but instead of choosing a printer on the network, I'm going to use my software printer. So this is going to electronically, when I hit print, go back into my inbox or my document tray and be waiting for me there. This could be a Word document, PDF, anything that you don't want to print out and send back in again. My scan screen came up. And you'll notice I talked about the favorite setting here. If I wanted to scan, I could hit scan and start moving things directly into my inbox. Now you'll notice the word import is sitting up there on top. And you heard me talk about Olivet College scanning directly from the copiers. What we did was we set up an import that said every time something hits a folder, I want you to automatically bring it into my document tray, or in their case, it's going to be automatically stored. But that's where that's set up as well. So don't forget about the copiers out there. Once you get back to the office, they're a viable way to bring information in. So we've talked about how to bring things in, import, scan, the printer electronically along the way, and so forth. And I want to take you one other place, which is kind of interesting. You know, one of the things that city said to us when they had 100+ invoices coming in was, every one of them is different. What do we do with all those invoices? We don't want somebody just, having to manually index or whatever we need to do. There's no uniformity. Welcome to intelligent indexing. Now, how this works is, in their case, we're going to have them scan all those invoices into one document tray. It goes to the cloud. It looks at that first one and it goes, oh, I've seen you before. I know where the fields are, the index information is that I need to store you. And I'm going to automatically populate those fields for you. And I'm going to put a green box in the corner to let you know I got everything. If you see a yellow one like down here, it means I got most of them. I need some help. Red means never saw it before. But what's going to happen is you're going to help it a little bit, show it where to find the information, and by the third time, it will be green. Let me open up this first one over here. And I'm going to send this into the electronic file cabinets that you see here. Now, Peggy at the roller coaster company works in accounting, but she could work for any township in accounting as well, or city or any municipality along the way. She also handles FOIA requests for them, so you'll notice that's the cabinets that she has access to. I'm going to hit the store button right here. And what's going to happen is you're going to see all the index information pop up and the information that was pulled when this form went to the cloud. Now, this can all be customized to fit your needs and to fit the needs of each department in the city that go with this. So keep that in mind. This just happens to be geared for this particular department. I'm going to hit store, and you'll notice it's sending it on its way, and the next one's going to pop up, but I want to show you the yellow one because I want to show you what it missed. So let's open up this guy right here and notice a couple things when it opens up. You'll notice it's going to highlight what it's shown when I hit the word store. Watch this. This is so cool. It's going to say, all right, I've got to put some yellow marks down the left side here. These are the areas I'm not absolutely sure about. I may need some help, but I definitely didn't get the company name. So I'm going to go over here, watch my mouse, and I'm going to run it across the name of the company. Boom, filled it in. We call that point and click. Isn't that fun? If I hit store, it's on its way now. In fact, in this case, what's going to happen is it's going to go into the workflow for the city or for the engineering company that you see here, and the other two remain in the basket. Now, if I wanted to store something and not use intelligent indexing, let's open up the invoice here from Flying Tom. I'm going to hit store. You're going to see much the same information appear in the index fields that we had on the other one. But the important thing is I'm going to use that point and click again. And here's my favorite part. Watch on the right-hand side as I move the mouse across the name of the company. Boom. Invoice. It drops down to the next field. Boom. Document number. Oh, let's use this on the form. And away we go from there. Now, the key that you need to know is these need to be machine created for this to work. It won't work with handwriting. If I have everything the way I like it, I hit store and off it goes. So we've got intelligent indexing we can use for all those unusual things that you have coming in that there's no uniformity to. And as you can see, it tells me that it was stored, and the next one could pop up if I had selected all of them. Let's talk about searching. We've got them out there. We need to find them. I bet if I pointed to this, you'd go, yep, I knew that was where we'd find the search. I'm going to hit search, and you notice I can do specific cabinets that I'm looking for, or right down to the bottom here, if I'm not sure what cabinet it's sitting in, I could search across them. But we know, let's go to accounting, and let's open up that one. And you'll notice these are all the areas that I can search on. Again, remember, these can be customized to fit your needs. I could do date range searches. You know, I thought it was stored between January 1st and 15th. I'm not sure. I could do exactly what I'm looking for. In fact, as I start to type, you'll notice it saying, do you mean one of these? Yes, let's go with that one. Show me everything for Flying Tom, Germany. What it's going to do is it's going to bring me back a hit list of everything it found out there for that. And look at this. There's an email. We've got PDFs. In fact, if I scroll across here, you'll notice the index information is also there if it was something that had been indexed before it was stored. And if I open up that piece of information, it's going to show up on the right-hand side over here, and a couple of things that you might find interesting. If somebody said, you know what, can you send me a copy of this letter? Maybe it was a FOIA request or whatever, but there's something on there I don't want them to see. I'm going to go down here under annotations, and it's not a blue document, it's a white document. And I'm going to say, you know what, I really don't want them to see that. Now, that's an overlay. The document is still there. It's still originally there, and everything is good to go. You could even, if you wanted to put text notes on there, highlight, do a number of things. If I wanted to send this to a printer, guess what? I just click the print icon. It's going to ask me, do you want to print it with those hidden or without? The same thing, if I hit this envelope here, it'll attach it as an email, and you can put in your email address from your directory, and away you go. Again, same questions. And in the case of both of those, it's going to say, if it's a multi-page document, do you want everything? Or do you want just this page with or without those annotations or the things hidden? So that's searching in a nutshell, but I want to go back and show you one important thing, because I know you have board minutes, probably ordinances, and a lot of different things that are there. And what I like best is called full text searching. I'm going to hit reset and clear the board here. And I'm going to put in the word steel. Now, this is a roller coaster company. I'm guessing that there's some documents out there with the word steel in them. And as it comes up, it's going to give me a list of every document out there. Oh, look at this, U.S. Steel, Leisure Park. I've got a little bit of everything that it says the word steel is in. Now, keep in mind, oh, do I want to save what I've done to that other document? No, I don't think I do. Okay, go ahead and show me the other one. Keep in mind with full text search, first of all, it has to be machine created. It won't do handwriting from 1923. But more importantly, you can look up wildcard searches, exact phrases, names. There's a vast array of ways that you can do full text searching. And if you'll notice, when I brought this up, it highlighted the word steel in kind of a bright reddish pink. If I go over here and hit this icon that has a plus on it, it's going to move through the document showing me where everything is for what I was looking for in full text searching. You have a lot of flexibility when you come to searching. So the key is don't spend a lot of time indexing your information if you're not getting into it that often, because you have all this flexibility for searching, but more importantly, full text. Now, I mentioned Peggy does a couple of things for her organization. I'm going to go up here where you see the word list. You see a 1 there. She's got one task that needs to be done. But you know what? Let's show you everything she's responsible for. She does FOIAs, handles contracts for the organization, delivery notes, and I bet you could tell me if I said, tell me what she needs to do. Yep, the numbers with the next to each of those indicate what she's supposed to do. Now she handles FOIA requests when they come in. It's processed by somebody else in the organization, but it looks like there's been one accepted that she needs to deal with. So let's take a look at that and show you how that works. What I'm going to do is when it pops up, let's, it's a FOIA request from Sally Brown. Let's open it up and take a look at it. And you'll notice that there are some electronic rubber stamps over here. If she wanted to send this on to somebody else and go, you know what, this isn't mine, it belongs to the treasurer, I'm going to send it on to them. Or she could say, you know what, I'm going to take care of this FOIA request and I'm just going to take this stamp and put it right on the document and make it complete along the way. So you'll notice these stamps now are like the annotations. They're overlays. They stay on the document. But the important thing to notice is at any time I can tell who did the work, what they did, and the date and time that they did it. So there's a little bit of FOIA when it comes to that sort of thing. I want to take you over to the accounting side where the invoices are. We're going to go up here to task. And you'll notice if I hit this list, she can look at her task or monitor everybody else's. Let's take a look at her task first. And let's open up this first one. It's an invoice. She assigns cost centers and sends them out to the organization for people to approve. In your case, it could be the name of a person or anything like that. You'll notice the document showed up on the right-hand side, but more importantly, down here on the left-hand side, it says there's a cost center I need to apply. Now watch closely because I've got a little more here than you may even want to employ, but I'm going to hit new entry. I'm going to move across because I want to get to the spot where I can decide where this goes to. So I'm going to hit the drop down and here are my choices. And what's nice if this is locked down is that I can't mess up. I only have those choices to work with, and you'll notice the next one's going to pop up here in just a quick second, and we're going to do this all over again. Now, here's the fun part. If this was an invoice that maybe was shared, it's a phone bill that maybe was shared with a number of people in the city, and you needed several people to approve this, I could actually have several entries and split this among a number of people. As I move across, you'll notice I could put the cost center in, but more importantly, I could choose maybe half the amount, put that in here, and then move it on from there. I have a lot of flexibility when it comes to workflow. In this case, I'm going to choose manufacturing and keep it simple and hit confirm and send it on its way. Now, I mentioned to you that Peggy does management for the organization when it comes to the accounting side of things, and she has the option to track what everybody else is doing. So let's go back up and say monitor tasks. Peggy said, I want to see everything that's going on out there. And while that's coming up, I want to share one other thing with you. We could put timelines on these invoices. Maybe it's an early payment discount and we need it addressed in a certain amount of time. If you put a timeline on there, it can notify the person it was sent to and Peggy that that person hasn't looked at it yet and something needs to be done. Now look at the list that popped up. Here's the 2 that we sent over to Ford for his approval. So Peggy can take a look at what she's got going on there, but at the same time, see what everything else is happening in the organization. Now, I mentioned Mr. Sanders, Peter Sanders, takes care of FOIAs for the group. Let's go pay a visit to him. I'm going to go down here, and I have a number of users, and I want to tell you this is all on my little laptop, so please don't judge the software by the speed. Let's go out and see what Peter Sanders has got going on out there. And we talked a little bit about security. In this case, I'm going to log in for Peter. Now, you're going to require them to use a password. I just said to save my password to make it easy for you as we do this. And what you're going to see pop up first is a web client for Mr. Sanders. Here in just a quick second. As I mentioned, I'm running an entire thing on my, there we go. My poor little laptop has a wireless connection, and I'm doing all this on a conference, so it tends to run a tad slower. Anyway, you're looking at the web client. Look familiar? And he can customize this any way that he wants, but more importantly, let's talk about email, because I want to go out and show you, I've got two of those open here, that he's already stored something in DocuWare already. That's the name of the software we happen to be using. But let's open up and take a look at this invoice. It's an offer that came in this email. And if he chooses to store it and put it in the software, he has several choices. On the top left, you'll see the word store. I'm going to hit the drop down. Now, he can copy the email. If he was in HR, he might want to hit the template for employees to have it stored that way. He can just maybe move the attachment only, or move the email entirely out of that inbox. And if he was working in accounting, maybe he wants to start it into the workflow. We're going to hit copy email. I'm going to hit store. And what you're going to see pop up are index information for this particular email. It's pulled everything based on what we've designed in the meantime. And I can review it and say, you know what, looks good, hit store, and it's on its way. Once I hit store, and there it goes. You'll see a little icon pop up at the bottom telling me, there it is, that it's been stored successfully. Now, if I wanted to search from within Outlook, I could come up here and say, you know what, I want to find everything stored in my software for the same sender, Thomas Rain. I'm going to hit quick search. And what you're going to see coming back is a hit list of everything stored out there. The beauty of email is you can pick and choose what you choose to store in your software so you don't lose those things in that vast array of Outlook. Look, here's mail, there's letter on that bottom right side that's come in for him. So that's a quick view of storage for Outlook or email. Let's close that down. I want to go back out because I know a lot of you may use BSNA in the city. It's a software for those of you who are not or don't have it or not aware of it that tracks everything from permits to parcel numbers and so forth. In this particular company, they use an accounting software, and I want to show you something that works with all third-party softwares. This comes included with the cloud, as does intelligent indexing, or you can buy this as a separate module, and one module covers any number of softwares that you've got out there. By the way, intelligent indexing can be subscription if you don't have the cloud. But what we've done is take a screenshot of the accounting software for this particular company, and we said every time you see a first and last name there, I am going to want you to go out and search in the software. Now, it's going to do a screen scrape of that information so IT doesn't get crazy because you're messing around with their internal software, because you're not. It's going to scrape the information off. And I've created 3 buttons. One is a contact button I'm going to use now, but I've got invoice in and out. Those sit on the surface of your third-party software. You might have them in BSNA for parcel number, one for a button for that, and street number for the other. I'm going to hit contact here and say, all right, show me, there we go. Show me everything that's out there for that particular person. And look what's popped up over here. We should see it in just a quick second here. There we go. That keeps popping back up. Let's do it this way. It's got I'm seeing it. There we go. Word documents, PDF. I could open whatever I'm looking at, and I'm good to go there. Now, you heard me mention earlier that Peter Sanders was a FOIA person for the city or for this organization. What I'm going to do is I'm going to close this out. We don't need this anymore, but I've got a link out here on my desktop. But this could be a link that's put on your website out there for FOIA requests, please click here. It could be put in an email. You get a request for a FOIA request and somebody says, can you send me the information? Boom, you send them the link. They open up the link and here is a FOIA request. Now keep in mind, I showed you HR already. All forms are customizable. We can even put your letterhead on them. We can, if you're using an existing form, put that as an overlay so you can see it. You have a lot of flexibility when it comes to forms. I'm just going to put in a few things here. And I want a copy. These are all check boxes. And I want you to email it to me. And as I scroll down, you'll be able to see that I could put in here all emails from the mayor in June of 2019. That works. I can sign it and date it. Let's pick today's date. And when I hit submit, it's going to automatically send this into the workflow, notifying Peter that we have a new FOIA request waiting that needs to be addressed. So keep in mind, any forms that you've got, road construction, building permit, anything that you've got can be custom designed and put together to be used as a form. I even had a school district we were working with that had a lot of employees submitting travel requisitions, and it worked really well for that as well, because they just had to click on a link on the school district's website and it brought up the form. They filled it in, attached whatever they needed to attach, and send it on its way. Now let's go up and look at lists. We're waiting for that one to come in, but oh, there it is. Bright red tells him he's got a new one to go on. Here's the new FOIA request. And everything goes to Peggy originally, but he could choose to bypass Peggy if she was out for the day and send it to somebody else. In this case, he's going to say, you know what, this is accepted. I'm going to place it on the document. Keep in mind, these are overlays again, and send it on its way. Let's do one more because I want to show you something fun here. And let's say that Peter, well, nah, he needs to send this on. I don't think he can complete this. He doesn't have the skill level to do that. And you notice everything dropped out of the box, but more importantly, let's go back up here and look what's changed. Those are now waiting out there because he takes care of FOIA at any time. He can see what's sitting out there, what's been acted on. And as I mentioned, because I know you're dealing with timelines on this, he can even at the very same time be notified when something hasn't been taken care of in the proper amount of time. So let's go back to Peggy. And as we're waiting for the screen to come up, I want to share with you one other thing that's interesting and show it to you. When he responded to those and started them into the workflow, an email was sent out to each of those constituents with a copy of the form that they signed, along with a notification that they had actually been received. Let me show you where that's at here, because I opened up Peggy's email over here. Let's do this. And you'll notice right here is one. Mike Prescott submitted a FOIA request. There's a copy of the form, and he's been notified that his FOIA request was received and they're acting on it. So you can do a lot of those that are automated that make it very, very easy. Also, she could even save the invoice here for the email and start that into the workflow. But more importantly, let's go back and let's take a look at, oh, she's got a red 2 there. So she's got 2 FOIA requests that she needs to deal with that Peter just sent over to her. And again, as I mentioned, she could forward them on or she could mark them as completed. This one, she can handle. We're marking it as completed and off it goes.